While crime is skyrocketing nationwide, Miami is seeing its lowest homicide rate since 1930. And in the face of national inflation and recession, the Miami economy is seeing its second highest growth in history with just 1.4% unemployment. Now the city's mayor wants to bring the Miami model, it's COVID, to the entire country. Can it work? Joining me now, the mayor of Miami, Florida, Suarez. Welcome back, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks so much, Kennedy. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So I love the idea of the Miami Miracle because I live in a high-tax, high-crime city, New York City, and it's not nearly as safe as it used to be. I remember when New York was safe and pretty free, and they took care of the right things. How did you prioritize things in your city to create a much better environment than we're seeing in places like New York, Chicago, and LA?
Well, our formula for success, which is easy to replicate, is based on three simple steps. The first is you keep taxes low. We reduced taxes just a few weeks ago to the lowest level in recorded history. Our budget, as a result, has doubled in size because of all the growth that we have. And as you said, our unemployment rate is at record lows. We kept people safe. A lot of cities have defunded their police. We actually increased funding for our police with the resources that we had. And of course, we're on pace to have the lowest homicide rate since, I think, 1930. And then we lean into innovation. We've created high-paying jobs, kept people employed. We're number one in the nation in wage growth. We're number one in the nation in tech job growth. So it turns out when people are healthy, and we're ranked the healthiest city in America, happy, we're ranked the happiest city in America, working, not paying a lot in taxes, and when there's a lot of police presence, people are safer and more prosperous, and that's a model that can be replicated, but it does take political courage to sort of sometimes stand up to some of these national narratives that want more government or government as a solver of every problem.
And it can't, because what happens, as we're seeing with student loan debt forgiveness, is it creates more problems, and then those problems compound because greedy politicians want more power and they want to take more people's money. And you're absolutely right, it does take a much more political conviction to step back. Now, when any politician has those kind of convictions, of course people don't want you to just do your job. They now want to talk about you running for president. What is your relationship like with your governor, Ron DeSantis, and are you trying to elbow him out of the way?
No, I'm not trying to elbow anybody out of the way. He's got, a race now in the next, couple of months. Obviously, I'm going to be voting for him in November. He's got, he just got his primary opponent. The primary opponent actually was just named. So he's going to be spending the next 60 days, and I think 130, 140, $50 million making his case to the people of Florida. And we line up on a lot of issues. Obviously, we want to make sure that both Florida and Miami's economy are strong, and then focus on creating prosperity for people. That's a formula that works for Miami, for Florida, but it should also be replicated across the country because people deserve to live in prosperity and freedom. And the fact of the matter is, government is not going to be able to deliver that. My family came from Cuba. They were exiled at my dad at 12 and my mom at 7. And we know that government taken to its logical extension, the only equality that it creates is equal misery for everyone.
Yes, that's absolutely right. My mom came over from Romania, and where the heart of communism was beating and taking everything. And it's very interesting because when you're a first-generation American, you have a very different appreciation for capitalism and freedom than you do when you just learn about this theoretical socialism and these propaganda factories, colleges and universities, which now are going to be flooded with more government money. So who would make a better president, you or Ron DeSantis?
I'm gonna have to let the people make that decision if that future ever occurs. But from my perspective, I think the country is definitely, hopefully, going to be soon, whether it's in 24 or 28 or sometime in the future, looking for a next generation candidate. My particular brand of politics and communication is to be positive and aspirational. I think Hispanics are becoming a bigger factor in the country, and certainly they're trending Republican, so I think that's important. Whoever the candidate would be in 24 or 28 or 32 would need to continue to be able to communicate with Hispanics, which are growing and which are trending Republican. And I think the last factor in terms of where the country's going to be is understanding that we need to shore up our supply chain from in terms of the fact that obviously are still in an industrial economy, but we're also transitioning to a digital economy.
Yes.
And that's something that can create a lot of jobs for Americans.
Yes,
that's something we should
and
position
Miami, and you have positioned Miami as a crypto hub. You have embraced Bitcoin. I high five you for that. I hope that message and that philosophy, comes across and inspires more mayors to do the exact same thing. Mayor Suarez, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kennedy.
Yeah, talk to you again. All right.